If you're in the country legally, you need to go home.
What's your message to Pope Leo?
I wish he'd make a border trip with me. I wish the Pope would spend more time fixing the Catholic Church, which has got a lot of problems. Wear my shoes for 40 years and tell me we shouldn't have border security. I've seen some things on the border that I still, have nightmares about. I had over 1,000 protesters at my one home, and I don't live with my wife right now because of threats. Because the last 4 years under Joe Biden, every day I woke up and I got pissed off because I wondered how many women got raped last night.
Why is it impermissible for ICE to not wear masks? They're fighting dangerous, well-funded, narco-state terrorists.
Bullshit. Just bullshit. You just compared United States soldiers fighting ISIS with these officers on the street in Chicago. Give me a fucking break.
Hold up. Did he just admit he can't even live with his wife because of threats tied to his border stance? Yeah, you heard that right. This isn't just politics anymore. This is real life. Families split apart and the system turned upside down. We've got Tom Homan, former ICE director, dropping bombs about border security, Trump's policies, and why Biden's approach is apparently leaving the entire country wide open. Piers Morgan is teeing this all up, and let me tell you, this conversation flips the entire immigration debate on its head. If you enjoyed our take on this, hit like and subscribe. Look, love him or hate him, Tom Homan is not holding back. And honestly, he's right on one brutal fact. You cannot call yourself a serious leader if you're the first president in history to unsecure the border on purpose. That's Biden's legacy right now. No, not mismanagement, not incompetence, intentional chaos.
This attention that you've brought on yourself by being so front and center stage on all this this year, I've read that it's attracted a lot of threats against you, potentially endangering your family and so on. How have you dealt with that aspect of it, that you're the front man? There are lots of people who have been cheering you on. I see it every day on social media. And many Americans who love what you're doing, think this is exactly the tough message that has to be communicated and is demonstrably working on places like the southern border. But there are many other people that hate you for what you're doing, as you know. What impact has that had in terms of your own security, your family, and so on?
I wish that most of the people who hate me knew what I knew. I wish they'd hear this conversation. I hope your followers hear this conversation. Because they need to understand there's a reason this needs to be done. And I think I've hit some of those points. You can go on for hours on this, but I think they need to understand what I know. They need to know what the facts of what's going on right now really are, rather than what the media is saying. I read a story the other day saying, only 1% of criminals deported by President Trump are murderers. Really? That's a level now? You got to commit a murder to be deported from the country? There's nothing in Immigration and Nationality Act says you got to commit yet another crime to be deported. However, there are people that hate me, but I'm not running a popularity contest, and I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing. I'm not going to stop saying what I'm saying. I'm going to continue working for this president because I know for a fact, I wake up every day knowing we're saving thousands of lives. I know by every public safety threat and national security threat we're taking off the street makes this country safer. And yeah, there's consequences for me too, right? I have to have a security team now, and I had over 1,000 protesters at my one home, and I don't live with my wife right now.
Stop. Right there. That's insane. You enforce the law, and suddenly you can't live with your family? That's the America Biden and the radical left have created, where law enforcers hide and lawbreakers get protected. This is where the whole argument flips. When asked about the UK's migrant boat crisis, Homan doesn't blink. He says copy Trump's playbook. End, catch, and release. Detain, vet, and stop pretending open borders are compassionate. Because compassion without order is just chaos dressed up in virtue signaling.
She's not staying in my home right now. She's at someplace else because of threats. But, it's I guess the price you got to pay to, President Trump's under threats, and, ICE agents, God bless them. The attacks against them are up over 1,000%. We're at a place where I grew up. My dad was a cop. My grandfather was a cop. I always wanted to be a cop. And cops were respected, and they were revered as being the good guys, save a lot of lives, and always there, to run toward danger when everybody's running away. We're at a point now with the left where all of a sudden the ones who enforce the law are the bad guys, and they want to have 1,000% increase on attacks on them. But the ones who broke the law They're the victims now. And it's just ridiculous. But I think President Trump, what he's doing right now, is going to convince American people that the cops are the good guys.
I mean,
and the ones who break the law, there are going to be consequences.
It's a tough thing, Tom, for you to say that you can't even live with your wife. I mean, that's a pretty startling thing to just come out with. You know, you're a married man who cannot live with his wife because of threats against you.
So I'm with her sometimes. I get out of the Beltway sometimes. And look, again, it's unfortunate, but if they think they're going to intimidate me from stop doing what I'm doing, my wife's all in on this. I mean, I took a huge pay cut coming back. She accepted that. She accepted the fact that I'm going to be back in D.C. when I had 4 years, of doing, really good things. Working, one of the things I did was work for Fox News, right?
Yeah.
So she accepted the fact because she saw me for 4 years. She understood the toll it's taken on me because of my experience, because of my knowledge, knowing people are dying every day. Children are being sexually assaulted every day. No suspected terrorists are crossing the border every day. 2 million unknown gotaways. Where do they come from? And why are they here? And where are they now? And I truly believe the terrorists have crossed the border under Joe Biden, and we don't know where all of them are today. And I think there's something's brewing, something's going to happen. And I think I put a lot of blame on the Biden administration. So she saw my frustration. She knows my love of country. She knows of my experience in this issue, that I needed to get back to put my mind at ease with President Trump to fix the problem. But you got to remember, Joe Biden's the first president in the history of this nation who unsecured a border on purpose.
Let that sink in. On purpose. This isn't incompetence. It's sabotage. Every single day the border is left open, it's a loaded gun pointed at America's head, and Biden's the one pulling the trigger. But wait until you hear how he describes the terrorists slipping through. Homan admits most terrorists aren't even in the database, meaning border agents can't check them against anything because they're ghosts. And Biden's policy is basically inviting those ghosts inside.
It wasn't mismanagement. It wasn't incompetence. They knew exactly what we were doing. Every president I worked for 6 of them, starting with Ronald Reagan. Even Clinton and Obama took steps to secure the border because they understood you can't have strong national security if you don't have strong border security. And no one did it better than President Trump. Unprecedented success, Trump 45, right? We had most secure border in the nation's history. Now we even beat that number now with the data. Joe Biden's the first president in history of the nation who came in office and unsecured a border. And again, that affected me personally because of things I knew were happening every day. So yeah, when he called me, I didn't hesitate to come back because I knew we could save lives and we can make this country safe again.
Final question, Tom. President Trump's coming to the UK in 3 weeks for his second state visit, almost unprecedented second state visit. The UK has a lot of its own immigration problems, not least this issue of all these small boats coming over from France onto the southern border and 50, 60,000 people coming in illegally. And it's causing a lot of unrest and anger amongst British people. Successive governments on all political sides have failed to deal with this problem. If you were trying to deal with that problem, specific problem of people coming over from the French coast on small boats to the British coast illegally, how would you stop it?
The biggest game changer for us was ending catch and release. They want to enter UK illegally, detain them, vet them, find out exactly who these people are. And, because you're going to find out some of these people are either public safety threats, not all of them. Some are, again, looking for a better life. But end catch and release and just stop the invasion, because I guarantee you a certain percentage of these people coming into UK are public safety threats and national security threats. UK's national security is under attack right now because you got that many people come to the country unvetted. It's only a matter of time. So I hope they take a page out of President Trump's playbook and enforce their immigration law and don't release people in the country, especially if you don't know who they are. You don't have time to vet them. I mean, during Biden, Border Patrol agents didn't have time to go through pocket trash to gather intelligence. They weren't properly vetted to criminal databases. Here's what UK needs to understand that we quickly understood. You can try to vet people and run criminal history files if they're a dangerous person, but most countries in this world don't have an NCIC like we do, or like UK criminal system. A lot of these countries, we don't know what their criminal history is because they don't have systems like that in place. And a lot of terrorists in this world, you can't find in any database, because unless they're a part of a Title III terrorist investigation, they were caught in some sort of wire transit, or unless they're encountered on a battlefield and DOD did a retina scan or something, most terrorists in this world aren't in any database. So that's why it's important you have a secure border. So I take a page out of the Trump handbook and make the country secure again, because it's only a matter of time before something terrible is going to happen because they have lax immigration standards.
And there it is, the ticking time bomb. Homan isn't speculating, he's predicting. And when that explosion happens, when innocent people get hurt, remember this clip. Because the blood won't just be on the hands of terrorists. It'll be on the hands of every politician who let it happen.
Tom Homan, thank you very much indeed for giving me so much time on Uncensored. Great to have you on. I hope you come back again. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.